Hey, Harley with Nelson Automotive. Today we're going to talk reliability and safety when it comes to your brake system. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some measurements of your brake system and we're going to see what exactly your brake pads are doing. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find the closest match. This one is 8 millimeters, as you can tell by my tool here. And I'm also going to go in here and I'm going to check the front pad. Each wheel has 2 pads on it, a front and a rear. It's important to note that if the rear brake pad or the front brake pad have different measurements, then we know that we have a caliper issue or a slide pin issue. The slide pin and caliper will squeeze the brakes once you apply the brakes with hydraulic force, clamping down onto the rotor and slowing you down or making you come to a complete stop. This creates a lot of heat, a lot of friction, and that is what wears your brake pads and rotors down, generating that heat and that friction. That's why it's important to have these inspected every periodically when you do your oil change or tire rotation service. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to take a measurement of the rotor to make sure that we're within the manufacturer's specification. Right now we are at 28.04, which that will meet manufacturer specifications on this certain vehicle. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for any grooving or delamination on the rotors to make sure that you're not overheating your rotors, to make sure everything's nice and smooth, to make sure that we have a nice even stopping pressure when the brakes are applied. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check for hoses. I'm going to check for make sure they're not corroded or degraded. I'm going to make sure that they're not broke and they're still flexible. This indicating that there's not going to be any leakage of your brake fluids. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down the car and I will inspect your brake fluid. I'll inspect it for water. I'll do a chemical test on the brake fluid, make sure there's no water, no extra contaminants in there, and that it's a good solid amber color.